All right, let me tell you a story about one of the greatest gambling crews of all time, the MIT Blackjack team. This wasn't just a group of lucky gamblers. These were some of the smartest minds in the country, and they figured out a way to beat the casinos at their own game. It's a story of brilliance, teamwork, and, eventually, the limits of what you can get away with. It all started back in the late 70s at MIT. A professor held a workshop on blackjack, showing students how to use math to improve their odds. A few of these students had a light bulb moment. They realized that blackjack wasn't just about luck. It could actually be beaten if you played smart. From there, things took off. By the early 80s, this group of math geniuses had formed what would become the MIT Blackjack team. Now, you might be thinking, how can anyone beat the casinos? It's all about card counting. In blackjack, if you know which cards are left in the deck, you can predict when the odds are in your favor. The MIT team took this to the next level. They didn't just have one person counting cards. They operated like a military unit. Here's how it worked. They had spotters who would sit at the tables betting small and keeping track of the cards. When the count got hot, meaning the deck was full of high cards, the spotters would signal the big players. These were the ones who walked in and started placing massive bets. They had a whole system of signals, like how they stacked their chips, or even how they held their hands, to communicate the count without saying a word. It was genius. They practiced non-stop, running mock casino setups and perfecting every move. And when they were ready, they hit the casinos, Las Vegas, Atlantic City, even Europe and Asia. They showed up with fake names, disguises, and bankrolls worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you know what? They crushed it. Weekends would end with them walking out of the casino with tens of thousands of dollars in winnings. At their peak, they had a bankroll of over $1 million. Imagine that, MIT students rolling into casinos and outsmarting the entire system. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. See, casinos don't like to lose, and while card counting isn't illegal, it's definitely not welcome. The casinos started catching on. Security teams began keeping an eye out for players who looked a little too good at blackjack. They started using facial recognition software and hiring experts to spot counters. The team didn't make it easy for them. They got more: creative, fake identities, elaborate backstories, the works. One guy would pretend to be a rich foreigner. Another would act like a careless high roller. But as the years went on, the pressure mounted. Members were being tailed, banned, and in some cases, outright blacklisted from entering casinos. Pituia, the early 2000s, the team had mostly disbanded. But their legacy? Oh, it's huge. Their story was turned into a best-selling book, Bringing Down the House, and later, the Hollywood movie 21. It's a story that shows just how far intelligence, teamwork, and a little bit of guts can take you. They proved that, with the right strategy, you really could beat the house, at least for a while. So, next time you're at a blackjack table and dreaming of hitting it big, just remember the MIT Blackjack team. They didn't just dream it, they lived it. This next tale of Elmer Sherwin, the man who won the jackpot not once but twice on the same slot machine. And not just any jackpot. We're talking about megabucks, the holy grail of slot wins. Elmer Sherwin was no stranger to the casinos. He loved gambling, especially slot machines. But like most of us, he never expected to win big. That all changed in 1989, when he was 76 years old. Elmer was just another visitor at the Mirage in Las Vegas, which had just opened its doors. Excited to try his luck, he sat down at a megabucks slot machine, put in his coins, and pulled the lever. You know that moment when the reels spin and your heart races, hoping for something good? Well, for Elmer, the impossible happened. The reels lined up perfectly, and the lights started flashing. He hit the jackpot. And not just any jackpot. Elmer won $4.6 million. Can you imagine that? A regular guy suddenly walking out of the casino, a multi-millionaire. But here's the best part. Elmer wasn't one of those people who hoarded his winnings. Sure, he treated himself a bit, traveling the world, but he also gave a lot of it away. He helped friends and family, donated to charities. It was clear Elmer wasn't just lucky. He was generous too. Now most people would consider winning $4.6 million once in a lifetime enough. But not Elmer. He loved the thrill of the slots, and he kept playing megabucks, not because he needed the money, but because he enjoyed it. And boy, was fate not done with him. Fast forward 16 years to 2005. Elmer is now 92 years old. He's at the Cannery Casino in Las Vegas, playing, you guessed it, megabucks. He puts in his money, pulls the lever, and bam! The jackpot hits again. This time, he wins $21 million. Let that sink in. He won the megabucks jackpot twice. The odds of winning once are astronomical, like 1 in 50 million. The odds of winning twice, it's so rare that it's almost unimaginable. The whole casino went wild. People couldn't believe their eyes. Elmer, a man who had already defied the odds once, had done it again. And just like the first time, he didn't let the money change who he was. He stayed humble, donating even more to charities and continuing to live modestly. When asked about his incredible luck, Elmer would just shrug and smile. He always said he wanted to hit the jackpot a third time, but he was grateful for what he had. Sadly, Elmer passed away a few years later, but his story lives on as one of the greatest tales of luck in gambling history. So, next time you're at a casino and you see a megabucks machine, just think of Elmer Sherwin. Twice in a lifetime, lightning struck for him. Who knows? Maybe you'll be next. But even if you aren't, remember Elmer's lesson. It's not just about the money. It's about what you do with it. That's what makes a winner. All right, here's one of the wildest stories about a man who risked it all on a single spin of the roulette wheel and walked away a winner. This is the tale of Ashley Revel, the man who literally bet his entire life savings on red. It's 2004, and Ashley Revel, a 32-year-old from England, is feeling stuck. Life's fine, but it's not exciting, and he wants more. One night, after a few drinks with friends, he throws out a wild idea. What if I sell everything I own and bet it all on a single spin of the roulette wheel? Now, most people would laugh it off and forget about it the next morning. But not Ashley. He goes home and the idea sticks. He starts selling everything. His car, his clothes, even his golf clubs. He empties his savings account, leaving himself with nothing but the clothes on his back and a passport. When all is said and done, he has $76,840, about $135,300 at the time, to his name. And here's the craziest part. He's going to bet all of it on one spin of the roulette wheel. Ashley books a flight to Las Vegas, the gambling capital of the world. Word of his insane plan starts spreading, and by the time he arrives, reporters and cameras are waiting. This isn't just a gamble anymore, it's a spectacle. He walks into the Plaza Hotel and Casino, his heart pounding but his mind made up. He's got one decision to make, red or black. He takes a deep breath and declares, "Put it all on red." The crowd holds its breath as the dealer spins the wheel. The ball bounces, dances, and then lands on red. Ashley wins. Just like that, he's doubled his money to $270,600. The crowd erupts. Ashley, who had put everything on the line, walks away a winner. But here's what's fascinating. He doesn't keep gambling. He cashes out, thanks everyone, and leaves. For Ashley, the gamble wasn't about greed. It was about proving something to himself. About taking a chance and seeing if it would pay off. What did he do with the money? Well, Ashley didn't blow it in Vegas. He used his winnings to start a poker website and eventually settled down, living a modest life. He even got married and started a family, proving that sometimes taking a huge risk can lead to something greater. So, next time you're hesitating about taking a leap of faith, maybe not quite as extreme as Ashley's, remember his story. It's proof that fortune really can favor the bold. But hey, if you're going to try this, maybe think twice before selling everything. All right, here's another legendary story, and it's about one of the most daring and unbelievable heists in casino history. This one doesn't involve winning big in the traditional way. It's about a mastermind who walked away with $32 million from Crown Casino in Melbourne. The best part, he didn't even roll a single dice or touch a slot machine. Let me tell you how it all went down. Picture this. It's 2013, and Crown Casino, one of the biggest and most secure casinos in Australia, is bustling with high rollers and excitement. Among them is a man who seems like just another wealthy gambler. Dressed sharp, playing the part perfectly, he's treated like royalty, given the best suites, the finest drinks, and access to the VIP rooms. Little did anyone know this man was about to pull off a heist so smooth it left the casino stunned. Now, casinos are built to make sure they always have the upper hand. They've got surveillance cameras everywhere, teams of people monitoring every table, every player. But this guy, he found a way to turn all of that to his advantage. Here's what happened. The gambler had an accomplice working inside the casino's security team. This insider had access to the casino's surveillance system, the cameras that show the cards being dealt at the tables. While the gambler sat at a private VIP blackjack table, his accomplice was feeding him information about the dealers, cards in real time. They communicated through a tiny earpiece, and with that edge, the gambler couldn't lose. Imagine the scene. He's sitting there, cool as ice, making perfect bets, winning hand after hand. No one suspects a thing. After all, high rollers get lucky sometimes, right? Over the course of just a few hours, he racks up $32 million in winnings. That's not just luck, that's genius. But here's where the story takes a turn. Casino. Staff start getting suspicious. Nobody is that good, not even the best players in the world. They dig into the surveillance footage, check the guy's bets and start connecting the dots. It doesn't take long for them to realize something fishy is going on. Before they can act, the gambler is gone, $32 million richer. But casinos don't let things like this slide. They tracked him down, confronted him, and here's the crazy part, they managed to recover the money. Details about how they got it back are murky, and the gambler's identity has never been revealed. What we do know is that he and his accomplice were banned from Crown Casino for life. This story is still talked about in gambling circles because of how daring and clever it was. It's a reminder that casinos, for all their power and security, are not invincible. But it's also a lesson in how far some people will go to beat the system. So, the next time you're at a casino and see those cameras watching every move, remember, they're not just there to catch you counting cards. They're there because of stories like this one. The tale of the gambler who outsmarted the house, even if only for a moment. So, next time you're at a casino and you see a Megabucks machine, just think of Elmer Sherwin. Twice in a lifetime, lightning struck for him. Who knows, maybe you'll be next. But even if you aren't, remember Elmer's lesson. It's not just about the money. It's about what you do with it. That's what makes a winner. All right, here's a story that's not just about luck, but about one man's unmatched confidence and flair for the dramatic. This is the tale of Kerry Packer, the Australian billionaire who played big, won big, and tipped even bigger. Kerry Packer wasn't just a gambler. He was a force of nature. As one of Australia's richest men, he didn't gamble to win money. He gambled because he loved the thrill. And when Kerry Packer played, it was always high stakes. He didn't bother with the small stuff. He went straight for the VIP rooms, where millions of dollars could change hands in a single night. One of the most famous stories about Packer takes place in Las Vegas. He walked into the MGM Grand, sat down at the blackjack table, and started betting $250,000 per hand. Now, to most people, that's an unimaginable amount of money. To Kerry, it was just another night. Over the course of a few hours, he won $33 million. The kind of haul that would bankrupt most gamblers and the casinos they play at. But here's the thing about Packer. He wasn't just known for his wins. He was known for his generosity. After that incredible night, he tipped the casino staff millions of dollars. Yes, millions, just for doing their jobs. That's the kind of guy Kerry was. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear this. On another night in Vegas, a cocky Texan at the bar started bragging about how rich he was. He even went as far as saying, "I'm worth $60 million. Without missing a beat, Kerry Packer turned to him and said, "I'll flip you for it." The Texan, realizing he was out of his league, quickly backed down. Kerry just smirked and went back to his drink. That's the kind of confidence that comes with having more money than you can spend in a lifetime. Of course, not all of Kerry's gambling escapades were wins. He reportedly lost tens of millions in a single night on more than one occasion, but the losses never fazed him. To Kerry, it was all part of the game. He once said, "The money isn't important, it's the action." For him, the thrill of gambling was worth every penny win or lose. Kerry Packer's story is one of big bets, bigger wins, and a personality larger than life. He's remembered not just as a high roller, but as a man who lived by his own rules. He played hard, tipped generously, and left a legacy of stories that will be told in casinos for generations.
Buffalo!
So, the next time you see someone betting big at a blackjack table, think of Kerry Packer. He wasn't just a gambler, he was a legend.